Hello and welcome to Important Learning, the home for the best stories lived at KLU Logistics University. Navigate with us through the life experience of our students and let yourself be inspired by their challenges and their achievements. Here we go. Life is unexpected and full of uncertainties. It literally can turn around in just a minute. In 2020, the entire world was hit by the life-changing event of a pandemic. And right when we were all starting to recover the normality, other people, the Ukrainian people, got hit again with the awful, life-changing experience of war in their territory. This is the story of our guest today, bachelor student Oleksandra Shvets, who at only 18 years of age has already witnessed two of the biggest crises a nation can face. But even when the world turned ugly, she has been able to overcome the challenges and write her own story. And now KLU is part of it. Welcome, Oleksandra, and thank you so much for being here today.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me to the podcast today.
Oleksandra is a second semester student in our bachelor's in business administration, and she comes from Vinnytsia, a mid-sized town about 250 kilometers southeast from Kyiv in Ukraine. And that's precisely where I want to mentally fly right now, to Vinnytsia, to your town, to your life before the war. How was it?
So Vinnytsia is basically a very small and cozy town. So everybody knows each other. I was going to the high school there, to my middle school, early age. So I was basically born there. So my family, my mother and father were doing the external activities, going roller skating, and I have lots of memories there, especially in the Central Park when I was going out with my friends. We also have a river there. So basically lots of leisure time was connected to the river. So we were just going out, and basically how we spent time there was going out and just walking around the town, because it was so small that we were able to go through the town every time we were meeting with my friends. And the family events, I was going to my family, to the village, during summer, during Easter, during Christmas. We always met together with my family. And then I had my final exams, and then I graduated from my high school and got into National Aviation University and also studied logistics there for a year in Kyiv. There I lived in a dormitory, and I had my new friends, university life, very active life. I was a class speaker, and also I was a part of the ecology club. So my life was just starting, and yeah, that's how it was.
So you were just having a normal life as a student. And how do you remember then the previous days before the starting of the war?
So yeah, there were some news before everything started. On the news it was said, okay, prepare your emergency luggage, something in case something happened, but nobody believed. So on the 23rd of February, I met with my friends. I was a part of the comedy club also in high school. And we went for the event, also this kind of comedy event where the new team of our school were participating. So we just came to support them. And yeah, after that, we all gathered in a cafe and we were just talking and joking actually about this emergency luggage and what is going to happen. And then the next morning at 6 a.m. it happened, and nobody expected that it will happen in 21st century.
It's almost pretty ironic that you were just joking about it the day before in a comedy club and that this is not real, this is not going to happen. And unfortunately, the war starts on February 24th with the invasion of Ukraine by the Russian troops. How do you take the news? What happens right after for you?
The first week was the hardest because we were not able to understand what is happening, when it will be over. The example with Georgia, everything ended in 1 week in 2008. And this time we also didn't know how it will go. So we were hiding in the shelters, like me, my mom, and also our friend came to us because he didn't have a place to stay. He was actually initially from Kyiv, but he was in Vinnytsia for this time being. So we just basically were 3 of us hiding in the shelter with all that jars with jam and everything, sitting very cold. And it was like the first nights were the hardest, where it was just hiding and like all that air alarms. And yeah, that was really scary. Then like in a week, we started to have kind of the plan, but it was always where on the news, like what is happening, where we were contacting our people in different regions, especially more to the east, like what is with them. And we were volunteering, bringing our stuff. And also some people stayed at our house, like from the east, they stayed at our house before they moved to abroad or somewhere else.
When do you decide as a family you need to leave the country? This is not a short war and it's happening and you need to get out of there.
Yeah, so like we understood that it's not going to stop in 1 week. So my father suggested a plan for us to go, like, I don't know, we had relatives in Moldova. So we decided to move to Moldova for about 1 week, stay there and see how it goes. And we thought maybe it will be over in like this 1 week. So we stayed there, but our relatives, they are kind of really supporting Russia because of their relatives are also living in Russia, their sons. So that's why we decided to move on in 1 week, because anything, there was no signs to stop. So we just took our car, loaded, and went to Italy with my mom, about 2,000 kilometers, to her sister. My mom has 2 sisters. One is still in Ukraine with my cousin as well. And like my grandparents are still staying in Ukraine. But one sister is living in Italy for about 20 years already, or even more. So we decided to stay there because it's like more native people for us. And we didn't know how long it will take. But yeah, there was kind of a place where we could stay for a time being.
So your first plan was not coming to Germany, even though you did know some German from school. But then how do you end up in Germany? How do you end up at KLU?
Yeah, so I was studying online in my university in Kyiv. So basically the first month I was studying there, living in a dormitory, and it was like really nice memories. But then it was online and electricity shortages, and I didn't know what is happening. And I started to look for the other options, what could be possible. Because at first I even did not believe that it could happen, that my life would change so much, because I had lots of other plans for the next years. I would do some voluntary work, where I will go. But yeah, so I just started browsing the internet about the logistics universities, because I really wanted to focus on the supply chain, because it interested me very much the last few years. So yeah, and then I end up in Germany. KLU was one of the logistics universities, and I just decided to write an email because there was no information on the website. So I wrote an email if it's like, do they have any support or like possibilities? At first thought about the high merit scholarship, about the high grades, and I will send my documents. That's what basically I did, sent some of my documents.
So it was a very bold move that you contact us because, of course, there's a lot of different financial aids that KLU offers, and not everything is always displayed. Otherwise, the website will be way too long to read. You decide to apply. You discovered that you actually can benefit of this special financial aid that KLU was offering, which still we offer. We offer this financial aid to Ukrainian refugees. So if anybody listening is from Ukraine and is interested in our programs, they can apply and maybe get one of these bursaries, which basically fund the full tuition. So you're covered, your tuition is fully covered. You receive one of these financial aids. And I imagine that's also a very good reason to decide to come to KLU, apart from the great logistics program that we offer. How was this whole process of admission for you?
It was actually the smoothest admission process I have ever had. admission office was answering my emails so fast and like supporting me. And I was taken in the last intake. It's important to mention because like I didn't have my English test and I was just basically applying the last 5 days of the application. And I just wrote everything I could, like the best I could, like with my motivation and everything. And then I just registered for the English test. I had 1 week to prepare. And then I went to Rome, wrote English test, and eventually it worked out. But when I was going to Hamburg, actually, I had anybody here. So it was kind of
a new life, a challenge to start. The process of admission goes well, all last minute, very exciting, a lot of adrenaline. And now a new life awaiting for you. You know no one here. How is the arrival in Germany, in Hamburg? How did you find accommodation? Where did you stay? How was it?
Yeah, so again, my mom supported me. We took a car from Italy, from the bottom of Italy. We moved to Hamburg. So it also was quite a while. And we just went there for 2 days. And I arrived in Hamburg on 30th of August. So I basically had 1 day before the welcoming week. Actually didn't know how it will go. I didn't know what to expect. I watched every YouTube video. I talked to admission office, but it's basically all the experience I had. So I didn't know what to expect. So I came in Hamburg, like we stayed in B2B hotel, and then we had to move to the refugee camp because we didn't have any place to stay, because we didn't plan that so much through, and we didn't have any acquaintances here. So we stayed there, and then like the government found us a new accommodation. So we're staying now.
Tell us then about your first days. Okay, you arrive here, have pretty much just 1 day to prepare, and then you arrive on the welcome day, on the welcome week. How are you feeling then?
Yeah, that was so overwhelming. There were lots of feelings actually at that time. I was afraid. I remember when I was entering the door, I was trying to find the entrance because I went out not through the right entrance of the subway. I was just trying to take kind of a turn to find an entrance. So yeah, I saw lots of people. I tried to talk to them, like lots of masters, students. I got my bag with the mug and some stickers. I was so happy. The communication really was so international. So like it's not super lots of people here. So like basically people who entered us, like masters and bachelors, there was not a lot. So we just met with each other. And then the next days, the next month, I met other people from other courses, which is actually, the very, very close community. That's what I really got assured after watching the videos and then in real life.
So then it was easy for you to start getting to know the community, making friends, and start gathering your new life in Hamburg. You barely just arrived, but already you were starting to meet new people.
Yeah.
That is great. So ever since then, you have been a very active student. You belong to tons of clubs at KLU. I would love for you to explain a little bit the clubs that you belong and what do you do in them.
So we had a meeting about the clubs, like in the Golden Egg. And then like we were told, okay, we have that and that and that. And I thought, okay, I want to join all of them. What should I take? And then I just subscribed like to 5 of them. And like the first events with the student ambassadors, I tried to help in the office hours, like to support the students, to show how the life in KLU actually is. I really wanted to show prospective students that it's a really good place to come. That is like, okay, when you're choosing the university, you have lots of information. You have the website, you have the YouTube channel, you have that. But if you come to the fair, if you come to some events like this, you can really share your experience with the students, and that I think really can help. That's what I thought after open day. I have not been on the open day myself, unfortunately, because I just arrived in Hamburg. Everything was so fast, but everything eventually worked out. And now I really wanted to help other students to get into that.
We from here encourage everybody to visit our open days. You can just simply go on the website. It's hybrid, so you can attend online, you can attend in person. I mean, in person is always better because you see the campus, you see the atmosphere. But of course, if you are far away, we encourage you to attend online and to get to meet us, as Oleksandra is saying. It's different just to read all the information online than to actually feel the vibe in person or online. So that's your experience with student ambassadors. What about the other clubs?
Yeah, the second would be like one of the biggest part of my life now is advice supply. I was a workshop manager last semester, but now I was promoted to the head of workshops, like as organizing different events with the companies in their offices or here at KLU to get prospective students closer to the companies, especially consulting companies, because we are a student consultancy club. And also there is another department where you can participate in the consultancy project. As for example, I'm also now the part of the team with the Kuhn and Nagel. So it's actually a really, really nice experience and a very good boost up for your CV.
Advice Supply is, as Oleksandra is saying, our consultancy, our student consultancy. And we had them in a previous podcast actually talking about everything that they do. So if you want to know more about it, just go check it out in the previous podcast. Do you have other clubs? Do you have still something else, right, that you're doing?
I have. So I will start from something super, super interesting. There's a new club in KLU, Women in Business. So it was created last semester like my friends created it from the second semester. Now they're abroad on the exchange semester, which is actually super, super nice opportunity also for all the students. So you can go around the world, like to which country you want. And we are organizing also different workshops with the speakers and negotiation workshops and speaking clubs to get more confidence. And like the main idea is, again, the gender equality, which is like a super important topic right now in the modern society. So that's what we are bringing up. And we hope that this club will develop.
That's one of the great things at KLU. If the club doesn't exist and you have a good idea, just start it.
And also, the last but not the least is KLU Thinks Big. We will not have event this semester, but we'll definitely have an event next semester. It's about like a TED Talk. It's a really, really kind of my dream. It was my dream and now it will be fulfilled. So it's basically an event where we invite speakers like students and teachers and professors, like everybody who wants to participate and have something interesting to tell the audience. So they prepare their speeches and we organize everything around the event. And it's like it was before COVID, but then COVID and everything is online. And there were no such events, but we hope that we will revive this club next semester.
I wish you a lot of luck with reviving this because we have really heard very inspiring talks in this KLU Think Big, which some of them are on YouTube, so people can just go and watch them. And I really hope that this gets revived. It's a very good initiative. You are a very engaged student. You are definitely making the best out of your time at KLU. I imagine that you still keep as well engagement with your people. Have you been able to visit Ukraine ever since you left?
Yeah, so I decided to come back for this Christmas, like in 2023, like New Year, because I really wanted to see my family. I have not seen them for a year. And it was such a touching meeting. I was really crying when I just crossed the border. Like, again, my mom took a car. We just moved from Hamburg back to Ukraine and then from Ukraine back to Hamburg. So, like, my mom is always supporting me. She's always with me. And, yeah, I saw my family, I saw my friends, and I just spent the time as I did, like, previously. We are going to the same places. I met my people. That's like, I cannot really even describe this, how much I felt.
How much has your town changed?
Actually, not much. Like, especially, but air alarms were still there. And like, but people were not reacting to them as it was in the first weeks of the war. But some places were actually ruined by the bomb shelling. So I saw I was performing on that stage there. It was like in the center of the town, and it was like fully destroyed, this building. And when I saw it, I was just like, I was really not able to react to this.
Very impactful experience. I really hope that your town and all the cities and towns in Ukraine revive. Has KLU, in this sense, helped you directly or indirectly to cope with the inevitable personal impact of this traumatic experience?
Definitely. I felt really welcomed and here, like especially first like with the emails from the admission office, and then with my group and other people, like the German course and in clubs. I felt really welcomed. Like the international community is very strong, and it's really like a family. I would say, like in the YouTube videos, in the podcast, it's always said, okay, KLU is like a very small family, like not lots of people. It really is like this. You know, everybody just go through the university and say, hey, and like everybody supports you. Everybody's kind of understands you and perceive you as an equal person, which is like, I think, the most important thing.
We are very proud of our internationality and our welcoming vibe. It is very important to feel welcome. It is very important to feel like you belong. And in this sense, too, I just want to remind to everybody that KLU offers free counseling to all its students through a partner, Hansa Resources. So any enrolled student that is having a personal difficult time can access the service. It's free. And I think it's important. It's important to take care of your mental health, right?
I actually did it once. I did it with Hansa once. So it was actually pretty helpful, and they communicated with me in English and supported me.
So coming to Germany and to KLU was a very unexpected decision in your life. Are you happy with it? Are you happy with how it went at the end?
I'm super happy. I did not expect anything at first, and I didn't know how it will work out. But now here I am, and super confident, and I hope everything will end super nice.
You feel you have reorganized your life?
Yeah, I think I still have to work on lots of things. I still lack lots of experience, and I will try my best here to improve the community here and to improve my life, to develop my skills. It's actually, I believe that in my future.
What's the biggest takeaway that you have learned from this experience?
I would say that, okay, it's very important to plan your life, to know what you want, to kind of have your goals in life. But you should know that sometimes there are some events that can kind of put you away from your way. But it's okay. You don't know. So sometimes something which is going wrong, would you say, can work out in another way.
So you're talking about making plans. What are your plans? How do you envision your future now?
Yeah, so I basically will try my best for my studies, like going to the lectures and doing my best, participating in the clubs, and finding my internships and going to the exchange semester. And then I hope that I will find my dream job, which would be the logistics consultant. But for this, I really need to work hard, have a nice experience, and of course, have a nice level of German.
Well, we wish you the best with that plan. And we're very happy that you found a new life in Germany, that you're happy with it, very proud of being part of this life. And we cannot wait to see what the future has prepared for you. And of course, we wish that this sad and painful scenario your country is still living in, this awful war, finish as soon as possible and give space for new hopes, for new dreams and new lives. We need to get going, but as always, we like to finish with a last inspiring thought. So I have one more question for you. If you could send today a message to Oleksandra from 3 years ago, maybe right before the pandemic started, what would you tell her?
I think she would not believe me because I said when I started learning Chinese, I thought I will not need German anymore. Okay, I will have it just for some experience, but yeah, you can never say never. So yeah, that's what I would say. You can never say never. And yeah, just take up your possibilities and yeah, just don't give up. Because I think what I did in high school, how I learned English and how I worked hard always brought me here, actually. Because without this hard work, that would not be here.
Well, don't give up and seize your opportunities. Thank you for those words. We'll keep them at heart. Thank you so much, Oleksandra, for sharing your story with us today. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you again for inviting and have a nice day.
And with this, we say bye-bye and hope to meet you again in the next episode of Important Learning KLU Stories. Until then, receive a warm greeting from who has been on this side of the waves, Christopher Estegar on the technical side, and I'm Patricia Vendala. Take care and keep your crane moving. Tschüss!
Discover Kuhne Logistics University in Hamburg, Germany. Learn more about their offered business and supply chain management study programs at the-klu.org.